Every morning, as you open your eyes, what is the very first thing that appears in your mind? Is it a sense of lightness or a familiar feeling of heaviness? There are days when we have not even stepped out of bed, yet the mind has already begun to worry. Thoughts about work, about unfinished tasks, about words spoken yesterday, about a vague fear with no clear name. The body wakes up, but the mind has never truly rested. And then the whole day passes in tension and exhaustion, reacting unconsciously, as if we are being carried away without any real choice. But according to the teachings of the Buddha, each morning is not merely a continuation of yesterday. It is a completely new opportunity, a rare moment in which you can gently reset the direction of your mind. With just a few minutes, with only 5 simple lines spoken in mindfulness, you can begin your day with peace, wisdom, and compassion. This is not a temporary encouragement, but a practice that has been preserved and passed down for more than 2,000 years. And in this video, we will walk together into these 5 simple yet powerful lines to begin again together from the very first breath of this morning. Lesson 1: I am grateful for this new day. As we pass through the very first moments of the morning, before the phone lights up, before the world begins to pull us in countless directions with its demands and expectations, the Buddha taught that what matters most is not what we will do today, but the state of mind with which we are present. The line "I am grateful for this new day" is not a shallow form of self-comfort, but a doorway into mindfulness. Gratitude is the simple recognition that you are here, that you are breathing, that you still have the opportunity to live fully in this moment. In Buddhism, gratitude is not limited to the outer world. It is not only about being thankful for having a home, a job, or food to eat. A deeper form of gratitude is the awareness that each time you wake up, you are given a new opportunity to understand yourself more clearly, to transform old habits, and to plant wholesome seeds for the future. A new day does not arrive to repeat yesterday. A new day arrives to offer a different beginning, even if the outer circumstances appear the same. As you quietly say to yourself, "I am grateful for this new day," the mind begins to slow down. It no longer rushes toward anxiety or regret. It returns to the present moment. This is the foundation of mindfulness. With mindfulness, you are no longer living on autopilot. You begin to notice the emotions you are carrying, the rhythm of the breath as it comes and goes, and the signals of the body asking for care. From this clear seeing, peace begins to arise naturally. Morning then becomes a moment of rebirth. Not a mystical rebirth, but a rebirth in the way you meet life. Yesterday may have been filled with mistakes, tension, and exhaustion, but that does not force today to be the same. When the day begins with gratitude, the energy of the entire day is lifted. You move more slowly, speak more gently, react less, and listen more deeply. The Buddha reminded us that those who know how to cherish life in each moment are not easily swept away by suffering. They understand that simply waking up is already a gift. And when you truly feel this each morning, you may sense that you have been born again. Waking up is no longer an obligation. Waking up becomes an opportunity. And from this grateful beginning, we now move toward the second reminder, a teaching that helps the heart grow lighter in the face of the inevitable changes of life. Lesson 2: I embrace impermanence. There is a quiet truth that shapes every experience in life, yet we often forget it, and that truth is that nothing ever stays the same. Emotions come and go. Circumstances shift. The person you are today is not the same person you were yesterday. In Buddhism, this truth is called impermanence. And the line "I embrace impermanence" is not a statement of surrender to fate, but a gentle awakening that invites the mind to stop resisting the natural flow of life. Most human suffering does not come from change itself, but from resisting change. We want everything to remain stable according to our wishes. We want pleasant feelings to last forever. We fear loss, uncertainty, and anything beyond our control. It is this clinging that gives rise to anxiety. As you quietly say to yourself, "I embrace impermanence," you allow some of that tension to soften. You remind the mind that no state is permanent, not even the sadness or fear that may be present right now. Impermanence is not as frightening as we once believed. In truth, it is the very reason healing is possible. If nothing could change, suffering would also remain unchanged. Because of impermanence, a dark day eventually passes. Because of impermanence, a wound is given the chance to heal. With this understanding, panic in the face of change begins to fade. You learn how to remain steady within, even while the outer world continues to move. This line gently guides the listener from a mindset of fearing change toward a mindset of acceptance. Acceptance does not mean passivity or giving up. Acceptance means seeing reality clearly without adding resistance. From that clarity, mental energy is preserved. Expectations begin to loosen. The pressure we place upon ourselves grows lighter. You become more flexible, more adaptable, and less trapped inside negative stories created by the mind. The Buddha taught that understanding impermanence is the beginning of wisdom. One who understands impermanence no longer clings tightly to what is falling away, nor fears what is coming into being. To practice this teaching in the morning, gently ask yourself a simple question. If everything is always changing, what is there to worry about so deeply? This question does not need an immediate answer. Allow it to settle quietly in the mind like a seed. In time, a subtle transformation takes place. You begin to see that change is not the enemy of peace. Change is the very nature of peace. Through impermanence, letting go becomes possible. Through letting go, the heart finds space for softness and understanding. From this insight, the heart slowly opens, ready to move toward the next practice, where love begins to spread from within. Lesson 3. I cultivate compassion for myself and others. After learning how to release some of the resistance toward the changes of life, the mind gradually becomes softer. In this softened state, the next teaching of the Buddha begins to reveal its deep healing power. The line, I cultivate compassion for myself and others, invites us back to the most essential quality of the path of awakening. That quality is love. In Buddhism, love is not a fragile emotion, but a powerful energy capable of transforming suffering. Compassion in the teachings is nurtured from two roots. Metta is loving kindness, the sincere wish for oneself and for others to be well and at ease. Karuna is compassion, the ability to feel and hold the pain of oneself and of others without judgment. When these two come together, a natural process of healing begins. You no longer look at yourself through harsh eyes. Mistakes are no longer seen as proof of unworthiness, but as signs of a human being who is learning and growing. Many people live with a constant inner voice of criticism. They tell themselves they are not good enough, not strong enough, not deserving enough. This inner harshness exhausts the mind and causes the heart to close. This practice invites the listener to pause and look at themselves differently, with understanding. When you are able to say to yourself that you too are worthy of love, an invisible burden begins to fall away. Your sense of self-worth is no longer dependent on achievement or external approval. Compassion does not remain only within. As you treat yourself with gentleness, that energy naturally flows outward. You react less harshly. You listen more deeply. Forgiveness becomes easier, not only toward others, but also toward the imperfect parts within yourself. Relationships begin to change. The space around you feels lighter and safer. A community nourished by compassion holds less conflict and more understanding. The Buddha taught that all beings wish for happiness and fear suffering. With this understanding, you no longer feel alone in your experience. You see yourself as similar to others rather than separate from them. This realization opens the door to genuine connection. A heart that knows how to love does not need to tense itself in defense. It knows how to rest and how to radiate warmth. Allow this line to echo through your morning as a gentle reminder. I cultivate compassion for myself and others. There's no need to force it, no need to be perfect. Only sincerity is required. From this foundation of love, the mind begins to heal. And as the mind softens, the path of wisdom gradually reveals itself, guiding us toward the next lesson. Lesson 4: I walk the path of wisdom. From the foundation of compassion that has been nurtured, a deeper direction begins to open. This is the path of wisdom. In the teachings of the Buddha, wisdom is not the accumulation of knowledge or the memorization of many doctrines, but the ability to look directly into the true nature of life. The line "I walk the path of wisdom" is an inner commitment, reminding us to choose awareness over hurried reaction and understanding over blind habit. Wisdom is born from honest observation, observing the emotions that arise, observing the thoughts as they form, observing the way we respond to circumstances. This observation is not meant to judge what is right or wrong, but to clearly see what is happening within us. A mind that knows how to observe is not easily pulled away by anger, fear, or impulsiveness. It creates a precious pause, a space in which we can choose actions that align more closely with our deeper values. Buddhism teaches that suffering is created not only by circumstances, but by repeated unwise decisions. Each unconscious reaction plants another seed of pain. Wisdom helps bring this cycle to an end. Through clear seeing, we choose words that are more necessary. We choose actions that cause less harm. We choose to release what no longer nourishes us. These small choices, repeated day after day, gradually lighten the burden of karma and open a way of living with less suffering. This line also gives the listener a sense of moving forward. Not forward in speed, but forward in depth. Even if outer circumstances have not changed much, the inner landscape has shifted. This evolution happens quietly, yet it is stable and enduring. The mind no longer remains stuck in old questions and old reactions. It learns how to illuminate itself, little by little. Wisdom in Buddhism always walks alongside humility. A wise person does not believe they already know enough. They are willing to question themselves. They look again at the intentions behind each decision. They understand that seeing clearly, even a little, is more precious than knowing much without being able to live it. This clarity allows life to become simpler, lighter, and more genuine. Let the line "I walk the path of wisdom" echo each morning as a gentle reminder, not to learn more for the sake of accumulation, but to live with greater clarity, not to become better than others, but to understand yourself more deeply. From this light of wisdom, the mind gradually becomes less tangled, and within that quieting, another essential quality begins to emerge. That quality is inner peace, the deepest destination of all practice. Lesson 5: I am at peace with myself. After the journey of observing and illuminating the mind through wisdom, a natural quietness begins to appear. This is not a feeling of excitement, nor a temporary happiness, but a peace that arises from no longer having to struggle against yourself. The line "I am at peace with myself" touches the deepest core of the Buddha's teachings. Human beings suffer not because the world is too harsh, but because the mind constantly clings to the sense of self, to desires, to the need for everything to unfold according to personal expectations. In the teachings of the Buddha, peace is not something to be sought outside. It does not depend on how others treat us, or on whether circumstances are favorable or difficult. Peace is the natural state of the mind, yet it is covered by constant clinging and inner conflict. We want recognition. We want to be loved in the way we imagine. We want life to be easier. These desires are precisely what disturb the mind and keep it restless. This practice invites us to pause and gently release some of that weight. Letting go does not mean abandoning life, but no longer allowing self-worth to be controlled by external conditions. You learn to accept the emotions that are present without becoming identified with them. You allow joy to come and go. You also allow sadness to exist without treating it as an enemy. Within this allowance, the mind slowly rediscovers balance. Equanimity is an essential quality in Buddhism. It is the ability to remain steady amid praise and blame, gain and loss, success and failure. A balanced mind is not cold and not indifferent. It is warm yet not attached. It cares yet is not carried away. As this quality is nurtured, the inner foundation becomes strong. Storms may still arise, but they no longer shake you so easily. The line "I am at peace with myself" is also a reminder of choice. No one can impose an emotion upon you unless you allow it. No one can take away your inner calm unless you hand that power to them. Seeing this clearly, you reclaim your strength. True strength does not come from controlling the world, but from refusing to let the world control your mind. Allow this line to close your morning practice as a steady anchor. Peace is not a reward for perfection. Peace comes to those who know how to let go at the right moment. From this unshakable inner ground, each day becomes an opportunity to live more deeply, more lightly, and more truthfully with yourself. The 5 contemplative lines we have just walked through are not separate phrases, but 5 pillars that support a life of peace in the spirit of Buddhism. Gratitude brings the mind back to the present moment and opens the door to mindfulness. Embracing impermanence helps us release anxiety and fear. Compassion heals the relationship with ourselves and with the world. Wisdom illuminates the path so that we do not continue repeating choices that lead to suffering. And finally, inner peace becomes a steady refuge amid all the changes of life. All of these teachings point us back to one essential message. Peace is not something to be searched for somewhere far away. It lives in the way we meet each morning, each thought, and each emotion. As the Buddha taught, peace comes from within. Do not seek it without. When we return to caring for our own minds, the outer world gradually becomes lighter as well. Before we come to a close, take a moment to ask yourself one simple question. Which line will you begin with tomorrow morning? Share that line in the comments as a gentle promise to yourself. And if these teachings have offered you comfort and direction, consider subscribing to the channel so we can continue walking together on the path of healing, restoring balance, and nurturing peace each day.